Remember those cars that you lusted after as a teenager but couldn't afford to buy, let alone insure? Well, Miss Mallory, what were you doing in 1977?
Well, I remember making a bonnet for the competition for the Queen's Silver Jubilee.
Bonnet?
No, a bonnet.
But listen, if you'd had one eye open on the road, you might have seen one of these. A Lancia Montecarlo, quite a rare beast, I have to say.
Well, we've got 2% of the entire country's population of them right here, because there's only 100 of them in the country. I don't remember this car.
Well, to be honest, when this car first came out, I didn't notice it because I lived in Cornwall. I don't know if any made it as far down as there. Lancia was not a big seller at the time, and it had reliability issues and rust problems and all that kind of stuff, so it never sold in big numbers. But I spotted this car in about 1985, just after I started driving, fell in love with it and came so close to buying one.
Did you want to buy it in toothpaste green?
No, although this was a contemporary colour, this was a factory colour. Love it or hate it, it is an original colour, but the one that I saw was powder blue metallic, and I just fell in love because it's rear engine, or well, yeah, rear engine, mid-engine, it's back here. It's a 2 litre, it's 122 brake horsepower, and I think from certain angles, with a slight squint, it looks very much like a Ferrari.
Yeah, when you've had your few too many in the bar, perhaps. I mean, it is actually, I prefer it in red, obviously. This is an older car, very, very pretty little thing, but they weren't hugely popular. No, they weren't. I mean, Lancia just had a bad reputation. They weren't cheap either. But when you think about it back then, you know, cars like this, there weren't many on the market. They were still making MGs in the 70s. I mean, this looks like it's from a different era to an MG. It does.
There was the Fiat X19, and that was kind of about it in terms of kind of almost affordable sports car. So this was quite kind of cutting edge. So
what would you have had to pay for one of these back in 77?
The prices didn't change dramatically through the lifetime of the car because frankly they weren't selling anyway, so you'd have been looking to pay somewhere around $5,000 to $5,500.
Which would have been a huge amount of money back then.
Yeah, my parents bought their first house back there, it was $8,500 grand. So that kind of puts it in perspective.
Yeah, it does, and a lot of wagon wheels for $5 grand.
More than enough. You've seen the consequence, haven't you? Today, as you said, very, very rare car, somewhere between £6,000 and £8,500 to get into something like this.
And insurance, classic insurance, so that's not going to be a worry?
No, I've got to say though, when it comes to driving, not going to drive like a modern car. The very early cars, 77, 78, brakes were a bit atrocious. They did some modifications later on, that improved. Gearbox was never great, but there's just something about it, isn't there?
It's a feeling, isn't it? It's not about the machinery necessarily or the engineering of it, it's just the feeling that you get. So there you go, our teenage kick is a very rare blast from the past, the Lancia Montecarlo.